Stream. All right, now we're live. The Zen Master. Breathe in the mail at the marketing. Mike Zano, how are you?
I'm excited. I'm elated. I'm here. I have your one-on-one attention. I love it.
Okay, so what
Oh,
happened this week was I couldn't get Mike on to, which is the whole point of having coffee together. By the way, drinking my Chemex. Fantastic.
this is just a local brewer. This is not Folgers. I know that this would be the end of the call if I said Folgers. This is a local brew.
Okay, good. Cheers. Good. That's good.
It's not Folgers.
Um, so leave us a comment, say hello, let us know what you're drinking. We do have a topic, and Mike doesn't even know what the topic is, which is really exciting
All
for
right.
me because it's fairly geeky.
Oh,
But anyways, I fixed it for Skype, so now going forward, we'll be all good. And Jen Ramquist, it is Friday already. Good morning, Jen. Good
morning.
morning. So, by the way, Mike had a birthday. I don't know if you guys all knew that. Happy birthday, Mike.
Thank you. I had a great birthday.
How young are you?
It's my last year in my 40s.
I'm right there with you,
Same for
brother.
you? Yeah,
hmm
we're on the same page.
I'm kind of excited to hit 50 because I feel like that's really lucky. Like, how lucky are we that we made it like that
Yeah,
long? You know,
I
some
know.
people aren't that lucky. Oh, look at that. Look who's on. Racine, the deal machine
Hi,
in
Racine. How are you?
in Hawaii. Hi, Racine. Oh, Dr. Dawn Paresa, the land arb queen. Good
It's
morning, Dawn.
nighttime. What time is it in Hawaii right now? Isn't
It's
it
like
like,
it's like 2 in the morning there. No, I'm kidding. It's early though. It's like 6 in the morning.
oh, it's the other way. Okay.
Yeah. Jen Ramquist says happy birthday, Mike.
Thank you, Jen.
So okay, Mike, here is the discussion topic for Coffee Talk. Hopefully everyone has their warm beverage. Ken Badziak, good morning. Good to see
What's up,
you.
Ken?
Okay, here it is. It is called the Hawk Principle. What is the Hawk Principle, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked.
I want to write it down my new whiteboard. Go ahead, Hawk
Okay,
principle.
HOCK principle.
Okay.
Simple, clear purpose and principles. So I'm going to say it again. Simple, clear purpose and principles. Very simple, right? Give rise to complex
Okay.
and intelligent behavior. Complex rules and regulations give rise to simple and stupid behavior. So, from a VA management perspective, just a life perspective, the Hawk principle it's a little counterintuitive, but it makes a lot of sense in reality, especially if you have kids. You kind of know this
Oh,
if you have
I like
children.
this. I like this.
Oh yeah, Racine's
Okay.
saying, let's have a big party next year for you. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so like Mike, you got a bunch of kids. What do you have? 12 kids? How many kids you got?
4.
4 kids.
4. It could feel like 12. I've been with this. I have this sort of lines up with something that I've been talking about recently. So, and you were talking about VAs, right? And I always love going back to the E Myth. Remember that guy, the E Myth
Yeah,
Revisited?
Michael
I forget
Gerber.
his name. Yeah. So when he talks about, and I was talking to some people that were in flight school and getting ready to go into coaching. And one of the great things about coaching is that we start to outsource. Remember, you become effective, and then we're going to make you efficient. And part of the efficiency, I believe, is clearly identifying the roles in your business. So if I were to look at this Hawk principle, simple, clear purpose principles give rise to complex and textual and intelligent behavior, as opposed to complex rules. To me, I could slightly alter that and say, well, I can train one person to do a whole bunch of things, do many roles. So that'd be very complex, right? And then it would really weaken their results. And, I'm not going to say stupid, but it would really weaken their ability to be productive. If we were to clearly identify each of the roles that we do in the business, then we can have a very a simple and clear purpose for one VA to do something, right? And like, this is it. What's your deliverable? I like talking. Someone's posting ads. Like, what's a deliverable? Well, it's a posted ad, right? It's very simple and clear. But if you have multiple deliverables and it's complex, I think Yeah, that's going to be difficult for a VA to thrive. It's not even going to be the VA's problem, is it? It's not their fault. It's our fault for making it so complex for them. So, as a beginning discussion, I love it. Huck principle all day long.
Yeah. So I want to say hi to Mike Newble. He's on. What's up, Mike?
What's up,
Matthew
Mike?
Walt has an interesting comment. He says, never heard this principle before, but it's so spot on. Complex instructions lead people to get stuck, sorting through the rules and hurt judgment instead of looking up and out, then making the best call. And it's so true. It's so true. Oh, this is John Farrell, I think, in Ireland. You know, it says Facebook
Hey,
user.
John.
So I thought it was really interesting the direction you took it, Mike, with VA management as far as sort of delegating each role to make it more, less complex. The way I sort of think about it is a little different. I think about it more as a set of principles or guidelines. So like a business philosophy, if you will, where we're not overwhelming them with sort of this micromanaged, sort of overbearing. These are the rules. These are the procedures. So like, well, I'll give you an example would be, let's take one of our VAs. Hey, at 8 a.m, this is the rule. Email me, these three questions, and I want you to do it, using this format. If you don't do it this way, then you're going to have to do it again. And I'm sort of
Yeah.
putting like this pressure on them. I'm giving these rules and these regulations, and like it makes it more complex, but then it makes their behavior less intelligent.
Yeah.
Where
Less creative.
less creative, where if you say, hey, look, this is the expectation. It's a very simple rule. Some point during the day, email me, what did you get done? Well, then they can kind of take it and make it very intelligent and sort of impress us, right? They're free, if you will, to do it the way they want it. And it's sort of a general idea. Like I'll tell you just a general life principle that I have. Nobody likes to be told what to do. Nobody.
Nobody.
Nobody likes it. Even if it's really good advice, even if they know deep in the recesses of their soul, this is really wise advice. I just don't want you telling me to do it. Do you agree with that, Mike?
I do. I do. I think that is huge. I got a question for you. So, do you, along those lines, will you at times, describe the deliverable and allow the VA to sort of thinking, is it possible they may have a better process flow to get there than you would? Is that possible in terms of saying, I need you to do A, B, and C so you can give me D, or you just say, I need D, so get it done. And you just trust that they maybe have an expertise in that area? Is that?
Well, the way I train is I first start with my why. This is the purpose of why we're doing this, right?
Okay.
Just a general purposeful, this is bigger than you. This is bigger than me. This is why we even do this. This is why we wake up in the
Okay.
morning, right? We're in the business of helping people buy this asset that is a generational asset that lasts forever. So if you don't
Right.
do this job or role well, then this is what's going to happen. I mean, these are the benefits of us doing what we're doing. Like people are going to own an asset that lasts forever. We're also helping people that need cash and don't want this asset anymore. And then we're helping the counties provide better roads and schools because we're getting people to pay their taxes on this raw land. So what you're doing isn't just this role. You're really helping, society, the United States, all these people by
Yeah.
doing this really well. So I first start with the why. Then the second piece is, this is how we have been doing it. And I'll give them, a set of explicit sort of A, B, C, D, E instructions with, a training, maybe a video of me, in the screen watching them do it. Now I want you to do it, and I want you to do it the way that you do it effectively. And then I want you to train somebody else. So you teach somebody else what I effectively just taught you. So I'm outsourcing my outsourcing in a way, but I'm giving them agency. I'm giving them ownership over that role, task, or whatever you want to call it. So it's like, okay, Mark's not really telling me what to do. He's giving me these general guidelines of how he does it, but he's giving me total ownership of it to do it the way I want to do it. And now I get to teach somebody else how to do it.
Yeah, you trust them enough to teach somebody else, and that puts probably sort of mindset into them, right? That you're entrusting them to teach somebody else. So it's like you're empowering them. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, yeah. And, somebody just wrote, micromanaging just sucks the life out of people. And it does, right? Have you ever been micromanaged, Mike?
Yeah,
You
it
have?
does. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, we have. I work at the fire department, and there's different people in charge over the years, and some have been very much micromanagement orientated, and it's difficult to thrive. You don't you just feel like it's hard. You feel like everything is going to be wrong if it's not done exactly the way they want it, and it's not empowering. It's not.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it really is one of those kind of weird just things that instinctively sort of have a reaction against. Now, it might be like, let's take your firefighting position, right? It might be for
Hmm.
safety that you have to do this, but you
Right.
could create a rule or regulation in a way that's very simple, and it says, hey, these are like the ways that we do this so that you survive a fire.
Right.
But for somebody to be like overbearing and be like, no, 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 you're doing it wrong, and yell at you and scream at you, like, you're going to get yourself, da, 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 da. It's like, whoa, it almost is counterproductive. Do you agree?
That's true. I do agree because like the bottom line, like we always say, it's the wet stuff, right? And that's what puts the fire out. And if you were to, you know, get, every fire really essentially is you're in recovery mode because nothing's ever the same. So if you really had a very very specific way you had to do it, well, that would just cause all kinds of wreak all kinds of havoc because it's never the same scenario. It's always somewhat different. But at the end of it, the deliverable is put the wet stuff on the red stuff.
Yeah,
But you got to get in, access it. How do you get there? Where do you park? Where do you do this? Is it other people inside? All these things that But at least you can weed through those things if you have a vision of what, like you said, what's the why? Well, the why is we want to save property and lives, right? So that's the why, and then how we do it. Well, yeah, there's certain do leave the creativity in there because you have to for every unique situation.
no, I love it. And, so you take this very simple rule, put the wet stuff on the reds, gives rise to very
Yeah.
complex and intelligent, because then you guys are
Yes.
like, okay, this is how we're going to do this intelligently and save lives and
Yeah, where is
property.
the red stuff? We don't even know. We can't find it. Where is that red stuff? Sometimes it's tucked away, it's hidden. You don't know where the red stuff is, and you got to find it. That's difficult. So yeah, but once you get there, put the water on it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, Bill Dickens is on. What's up, Bill Dickens? How's flight
Oh,
school going,
Bill.
man? He just had his first flight school. Renee Rogers, she says, beautifully stated, why, Mark. Thank you, Renee. And she's like, happy birthday, Mike. Renee
Oh,
Rogers,
thank
it's
you.
always nice to see you on these Facebook Lives. Oh, no. Guess you just jumped on. I feel like I got to adjust my hair. Oh,
Oh, is it
no.
Tate? It's because Tate
No.
always has the best hair. Oh,
Dr.
Eric.
Lance Ellis. He's so critical of
Oh,
my
Doctor
hair
Lance.
these days.
I see. I see.
What's
What's up,
up,
Doctor
Dr.
Lance?
Lance? How are you, brother? I did cut my hair a few weeks ago. Had the kids do it. Help me out. So, oh, hey there from Minnesota. Is that Team Hokinson? I don't know. It says Facebook
Could
user on
be.
my end.
Hey, Mark, did you hear? I'm not sure if you got a chance to catch the nightcap the other night. Did you hear about Lawrence Berry's sale? $3,000 cash sale.
No, congratulations, Lawrence
Yeah, it
Berry.
was on. Yes, congratulations, Lawrence Berry. It was
That's
awesome. We
awesome.
had a lot of people selling, and I went through it, but I said for just because I know how much work he put into it, and I know that what he's done, that was the deal of the night. So it was awesome.
That was
Great for
awesome.
Lawrence Berry.
Remember that one deal? Someone was like it was like two sales, and they were like 1,600 a month passive. It was 800 a month note.
Yes,
It was really
yes,
solid. It's like it was a $96,000 total.
that's right.
I
That's
forgot
right.
what did they pay for it though. I forgot what the profit was.
I don't remember. Yeah, we because we reviewed it. There was so many wins that night. People just kept putting in there. It was just awesome.
Yeah, that
I
one
mean,
really
that's
stuck out to me. That was great.
this business will view it. It's addictive. I mean, once you do one deal, it's like whoa. Everything opens up from there, right? The possibilities just become like whoa.
Yeah.
That one deal. I don't care how big or small it is. It's That's that pivot point.
Yeah. So Dr. Lance, thank you for saying my hair looks good. I will tell you, for me and my fragile ego, flattery will get you everywhere. So, there you go. There you have it. What questions can we answer for you guys? We've got like 15 minutes left for a little Q&A, but I really thought the Hawk principle of, very rules and regulations give rise to complex and intelligent behavior, where rules and regulations give rise to unintelligent behavior. Like think like even from like my own kids, like their chores. I would just say, hey, look, you guys need to do these chores, but you can do them on your own time. Like I'm not going to be overbearing about it. But then, sometimes I'll inject it with like a piece of gratitude. And I learned this from like my Peloton trainers. Like, you don't have to do this. You get to do this. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, no. You don't understand. When you help around the house, you get to do this because you have a freaking house. I'm like, do you guys know how many homeless children there are in the United States? The wealthiest country in the world? There's 2.5 million homeless children. They don't get to take the trash out. They don't get to empty a dishwasher. You get to do it. And they're like, oh, wow. And it's like totally changes their attitude about it. Like, yeah, I get to do that. So, we don't have to do mailing and marketing. We get to do this business.
Right.
I mean, how lucky are we?
Great point. Mark, what was last? I thought it was somewhat similar to. What was it similar to this? Did you talk about another one last week?
It was Gall's law. Yeah, that was.
Is it somewhat crossover to this one?
Yeah. Gall's law is very similar. Let me just read that one to you. It's a complex system that works, is invariably found to have evolved from that worked. A complex system designed from scratch works. It cannot be patched up to make it work. You have to start over with a working simple system. We talked about that last week, how, when I first started the Excel
so this
spreadsheet.
is very similar.
Yeah, very similar. Here's a question. You mentioned clearly, how many VAs once you're up and running and outsourcing your land business? Mike?
Kind of cut out there. Someone was saying that how many VAs do you have in the...
Yeah. Is my mic cutting out?
I don't know. It might be just on my end. I don't know.
Okay.
Am I cutting out to you? I think
no,
I'm
you're
coming
good.
through.
You're good on my end.
It's interesting because some of the VAs that I have now have VAs, somewhat talking about earlier, you train somebody else, you start to empower them to have almost like a, maybe on the due diligence or on a different part of the business. So, ultimately I think the model here, think of as bookends, your intake manager and your sales manager, the left and the right side of the business. To me, those are like the bookends of our business. They are like each other, right? One's sending out, all potential letters are going out and someone's going to sell us a property and they're weeding through it. And over here, lots of marketing going out and someone's going to buy a property. They're like the brother and sister of the business, right? They're working hand. They just need to be supported, right? To be able to do what they do we'll do the due diligence, we'll do some and assist with the closing. And on this side, with posting the ads and cultivating the leads and so forth. So, I don't know. I guess I don't have. I should have. I don't have an exact number to tell you, but I can tell you that those two do. Like the one on the right side, we always talk about was probably the last one, right? That sales, because you could have a lot of inventory. I have a property to sell. Yeah, that's nice, but I got 50. Okay, yeah. Great. Yeah, I see dollar signs.
Yeah, I completely agree. I would say that the person that question, the average client we have, their overhead for the business is $1,000 a month.
Yeah,
which is their VAs and software. That's average. Some people are over that. Some people are under that. What's great about this business and what's great about a verbal based on volume. So there will be some weeks where you're busy much for that week. Like a task like, well, that's like a $5 task on, work. So some of the tasks are very inexpensive. They don't need to be sort of this full-time thing. It's like, I'm just going to get this done. Here's what I need to do. But to Mike's point, the bookends of the intake manager and the sales manager are really ideally where you want to get to. Now, from a marketing perspective, you want to have an ad writer because that's going to be pushing out those ads. And at some point, it doesn't make any sense for you to be doing it. You just create the headlines and the have a human being copy and paste and, make sure you're all the marks. But even that, again, it's going to be the system or product talented, the ad writing for you or even a copywriter. So hopefully that answers the question. It really depends on you and your time and where you are in your business and your goals. But I would say that for our one-on-one coaching clients, by 12 months, completely out of the business and their VAs and software 90% automated.
I introduced some of the guys in the fire department yesterday to Fiverr because we're looking to get the fiscal year's ending, and we're ordering some equipment to build our gym and quote in. But as you probably know, like these fitness, and so we love Rogue, and you can't even, I mean, everybody wants Rogue right now. They're sold out forever now. It's like you get in line, it's like you're number 60 in line. And it's like, then you get hung up on. I said, wait a minute, what a Fiverr? What do you mean Fiverr? So I hired someone for $5. They went from like 30 down to 1, got disconnected. They had to do it 3 times. Finally, in the night, I talked to them. I'm like, yeah, they're just going to wait in line for us, and then they're going to transfer us in. They're like, no way. I'm like, yeah, why? I go, you don't think that's worth $5? Well, it's $7 because of the processing. They're like, yeah. So I'm like, all right, let's do it. So it worked. Finally, we got the guy on the phone.
That's awesome.
Just like, what is this Fiverr?
I mean, I really think that it's sort of this you get to a point where at what you're doing every day. Is this something I want to do? Is this worth my time? No, want to $5? I'll have someone else do it. Even like, what's the best? Well, I could go on and do some searching and spend 5 minutes doing it. I'd rather, think about how can I get a, 1,000-acre deal. I want my mind being, I don't want to be thinking about trip. Let's think about that and get me the best information, and then I can just do it. So
right, just because sometimes we say, well, I'll just do it, but then you add up all those simple things throughout the day, and then task-oriented person, and I've thought about this recently because that can happen. It's like you could go through your day, and at the end of the day, man, I was just like a ping pong ball doing this, or you could say, well, one thing and really dive into it, and then I mean, believe it, when they need to get done, they pop up and you get them done. But when you do that deep work, all the little tasks, man, you just at the end of the day, you can either end the day feeling like overwhelmed and like that pitch you remember with the guy in the corner, like, hey, because you would deep something, and that really moves the business, and that's a tough challenge.
No, I agree. I'm really excited for next week. So I leave Wednesday, and the full Colorado,
Nice.
completely unplugged. Now we'll bring my phone and kind of get some key people like, hey, look, if there's an emergency, here's where you can get a hold of me, and I'll check that maybe once a day. But there's no land, but just in case there's something that I have to be involved in. But for the most part, I'm really going to be the family and, do all those fun activities. And it'll be 50s in the morning and at night, 70s and 80s. What happens is when I do this every year, it's amazing to see how much gets done without me. It's almost like July, we have a better month without me than with me.
Right.
It's stress.
That's awesome.
Oh my, really for like most of that month, it's been radio silence with the team. Like no one needed me. And it's
you though, Mark. Let's not we do miss you. It's not that nobody needs you. They do miss you. Clearly.
Well, I appreciate it. Next Friday, coffee talk. I'm assuming Mike and Scott will be doing it, or whomever they can get to have. I'll be in Colorado, and I'm sure from time to time and do like a Facebook Live and show people what what I'm doing, because my kids are teenagers. Like in the morning, I'll pick to them. I might be a little bored and just do a little Facebook Live. But for the most part, I'm going to be completely unplugged and read and bike and hike and tube and springs and paddleboard, fly fishing, flying kites up on the top of the mountain. Like we're going to do all these cool things.
I told you, Laura, she's an extra while. She's going to row me around while I fish. So she's going to do the paddling, and I'm just going to be doing the fishing. It's going to be, I'll have to do a coffee talk from the paddleboard. Well,
that'll be cool.
You did touch on want to slip by because I really like the people that we all learn from, right? Tate Litchfield and Scott Todd. There's 2 things they both say, and one of them is There's no land emergency, which is Tate Litchfield, and then Scott Todd, Money Loves Speed, and you can live in those two, right? It's like I think it's like you look at those because sometimes people might say, "Well, that's how does that?" Isn't that kind of no? What Tate's saying is that sometimes there's problems and they can be resolved. Don't stress it. Don't sweat it. All of these things can be worked out. But what Scott Todd's saying is when there's a deal and everything's been vetted, like money, loves speed. Like go get that deal right at that moment. Don't be afraid. Don't be like unable to take that step and buy that deal that I think what you when you said that because they both say these two things that we hear over and over again. They're both extremely powerful. There is no everything can be corrected. Take a deep breath. It's fine. We can fix it. And then Scott Todd's Money Loves Speed, right? But they do work well together and in the right circumstance.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And like when you and Laura go on vacation, you're really unplugged. I mean, do you even check your email, or you just take your phone?
I do because I sort of certain things sort of relax me. So I'll take a certain portion, like maybe like an hour, and just do the process. Because I take every opportunity to just sort of I can zen out on certain things. So I do. It's not an all day activity, but there is a certain time. Like I said, I'm up earlier than her, and if I have a coffee and maybe check a process, it's just sort of a morning routine that feels good to me.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Mike, speaking of reading, you're going to love this
What are you
book
reading?
I'm almost done with. You're
Is it
really,
breath?
yeah, you're really into the Wim Hof breathing and tapping into the
Yes.
autonomic nervous system, which
Yes.
he's going to talk about, but he talks about like how we've evolved and processed food and like, allergies and asthma and all these things but it doesn't necessarily have to be positive. Sort of evolved with our breathing the past, say, 100 years compared to like indigenous people where they have, wide mouths and noses and perfect teeth. Like it used to be like we had like if you have jacked up teeth, you're not breathing correctly. And it's really interesting.
Oh, wow.
It's an orthodontic experience. And since I've been nose breathing, consciously nose breathing, in 5.5 out. So about, my resting, and every mammal that has my resting heart rate is now at 48 beats per minute, just with conscious nasal breathing.
So two things. One, Wim Hof, there's a movie coming out. I just saw the announcement today on his. So they're going to be making a movie about it. It's going to be phenomenal. Guy has got because you've ever heard is very interesting as to what he did.
It's sad, right? His wife, I think his wife died. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very sad, and what he did and how he's inspiring certain people, and so yeah, absolutely. And then sometime when we're together, I'll have to show you. I have for the last 25 years, I have a breathing exercises I do meant to sort of that declutter and de-stress you, and it's based upon this Japanese principle. You ever heard of Tenchi Jin, Heaven, Earth, Man? So you start out kind of kneeling, then you work your way up in between, and then it's about launching your energy. I'll show you sometime.
You definitely do. So we're not getting together anytime soon, but we are still having boot camp in August. We will be opening up registration very soon, if I can.
Have you officially known it? Is this the first everybody's officially hearing of it? Because I know you haven't really said too much. I don't think. Is this already out there?
I don't know. I think I've talked about it. It's definitely going to go through the email and the.
I think this might be the first time you really kind of put. That's exciting. Someone today was wondering about that, and I said, "Well, let me find out." So I just found out. This is awesome.
Yeah, so we're definitely having boot camp. It's definitely going to go August 7th through 9th. It's going to be intense, just like but it is going to be virtual on Zoom. We will have breaks as we normally have breaks. We will have hours we normally do. Weeks as we normally do. As we normally do. And we'll go through the intense training sessions. It's, that first, like usually from 8 to 9 is live. So on Friday, our registration is going to be, let's play with the technology and get everybody used to the technology. Like, here's how you mute yourself. You raise your hand. I'll probably have somebody helping to just monitor any comments or questions so that I can just the training, and then somebody else could just jump in and be like, here are the questions that haven't been answered. So I'm really excited about it. And It's going to be the same amazing boot camps as we always have, and we'll see each other and we'll learn from each other. We'll do the interactive session. We'll break out in a room. Exact same, just virtual. So don't even have to wash your hands or wear a mask.
That's going to be awesome. All right, August 7th through the 9th. That's it.
August 7th
Got
through
it right
9th.
here on my new fluid stance whiteboard.
Yeah. So here's the coffee talk. Have a great weekend, everybody. Hope. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
I want to thank everybody on Coffee Talk. I'll see everybody. I'll be around, but I won't be doing anything during the month of July for the most part. So sweet, Mike, and be having a. Hopefully, we'll be drinking something good again.
There'll probably be, if we're going to do it, there'll probably be scotch in the coffee.
It's like Bailey's. Nice coffee.
Modified coffee talk.
Exactly. Hopefully, everyone's enjoying. And if you're 1, 2, 3,
Let
freedom
freedom
ring.
ring.
And of course, wash your
Wash it.
hands. Thanks, everybody. Everybody have a great July. Keep working on your mailing and marketing. I'll pop in from again, probably in the mornings. Yeah. See everybody when I. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Mike.
Thank you.
All right, brother.